The International Justice Mission, IJM, a global organization that protects people in poverty from violence, in partnership with local authorities and 24 program officers in 14 countries to combat human trafficking, violence against women and children, and the police abuse of power against people living in poverty, has held a 2021 Arise conference. The conference brought together stakeholders from churches, government, and non-governmental organizations to speak on the issue of human trafficking. The role varying stakeholders have in bringing the issue to an end. The conference was on the theme Tackling Human Trafficking, Our Collective Responsibility. Speaking at the conference, Mrs. Yvonne Osu-Accra, Director of Public Prosecutions at the Office of the Attorney General, shared some challenges they are facing.
Crime is a sin against somebody, and so you have victims who have been affected one way or the other. But for trafficking, sexual offenses, there are cases that sort of affect you. I mean, even emotionally, you just go all out for people who have gone through an incident of trafficking. Now, by the time you meet them, sometimes when the dockets are brought to us, you realize there is very little connecting the accused person to the victim. You really want to do a good job, but it is the investigations that have been brought to you are not enough to send the docket to court. And then sometimes even our cultural values, we still stigmatize the victims. So the person has been through a lot, but it is sort of a stigmatization, and then people don't want their stories to be told. They don't want to be in court. And once the offender says that, look, I'm going to compensate you, then they don't want to go to court. And if you don't have the victim willing to testify, you cannot go to court.
Mrs. Abna Anobia Asante, Human Traffic Secretariat at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, spoke to the media.
Often perpetrators, after committing a crime, will run to their opinion leaders, church leaders, traditional leaders, and even sometimes political leaders, so that they will come and plead on their behalf. And when it persists for a long time, I think justice cannot be served for the victim who has been abused, whether defilement, whether rape, whether trafficking incidents. Often we really face that challenge. And so we want to tell our church leaders, our opinion leaders, traditional leaders, that we should be able to stand up to these perpetrators and tell them to face the consequences of their actions. Because issues of rape, defilement, which sometimes victims of trafficking experience, cannot be settled in the home. It has to be settled in the court of law. And therefore, with this, they need to let the appropriate institutions, whether law enforcement agencies or if it has gotten to the Aegis department, wherever the case is, they need to support the system rather to help eradicate these offenders from our communities and our societies. Because they did it to maybe person A, they can do it to person B. And if we all try hard to fight this canker within our communities together, then at the end of the day, we can reduce issues of human trafficking to the lowest minimum. Resources can never be enough, but with commitment, you can get there. And so in fighting trafficking, it comes with, of course, the knowledge, the experiences, and also understanding what is at stake. And so with the trainings that we are doing, I think when people know what is expected of them, it makes them committed to the fight against trafficking. That not said, still resources also cannot be under-emphasized. Other agencies need funds to support them. The Department of Social Welfare, of course, need more resources because when it comes to victim support and rehabilitation, it takes a lot of financial strength to do that. And so we plead that, yes, more is added also to their budget allocations. We have our law enforcement agencies. They've made mention they need more resources, and also to equip the regional offices that have been opened. It also takes resources. So it's not only government, And who need to do that? We are pleading with our development partners, individuals. Whatever way you can support the fight against trafficking, we are ready for you, and you are welcome for us to work together to improve the resources and then the various commitments that various agencies have made in the fight against trafficking.
The conference was centered on creating awareness on human trafficking, providing a platform for survivors to share their stories, advocate and encourage individuals to be human trafficking champions, and also promote strategic opportunities for building new relationships. For Adwa News, Nanyema Collison, Accra.